Raindrops, due to the massive success of Messy Mondays with Dr. Heavenly, I am bringing Messy Mondays live. But this time, I have a very special guest. The one, the only superstar Grammy-nominated queen, baby, Tamar Braxton. On Monday, April 22nd in Atlanta, Georgia, at the City Winery. We are going to have a party. We got a DJ, we got food, we got cocktails. I may twerk. Tamar may give a little, a little something, some hot sugar. Who knows with Tamar? She's unpredictable. So yes, because of you all making Messy Monday so popular, I am bringing it live to you, Raindrops, and for the Tamartians. So don't forget to get your tickets. It's down here below. Monday, April 22nd at the City Winery in Atlanta. Obviously, this is the moment y'all have been waiting for. And so have I, because I asked Miss Thing months ago to sit on this couch with me. She left me on red. We're going to get into that later. Okay. But I'm so happy to bring on the woman that is in everybody's mouth. Hunty, give it up for the beautiful Bambi.
Yay. I made it.
You made it?
Yes.
You finally said yes to me.
I said yes, I did. But, okay, so you have to understand from my perspective.
Go ahead.
I was just like, your allegiance is to the loser. Not the loser. I'm just joking. But those people, those are your people though. Like, yeah. But that was my thought. I was like, he knows them. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was around them from the beginning and, and I was like, I'm going to come on there and he's going to be like,
give you shade?
Yeah, I thought so.
See, this is the thing. And I'm glad you're being honest about it. Yes, I obviously know Scrappy and Erica and Diamond, by us working together back in 2011 when Love and Hip Hop Atlanta first started. But when it comes to this podcast, I created it to be a safe space because I feel like nobody gives Black reality stars the floor to speak their truth for a mainstream audience.
Absolutely. And you've done that, and I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you, baby. Yeah. Thank you. So, no, I reached out to you because one thing about me, I do love all the girls.
I know. And that's okay. Yeah.
I think that's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here to make sure that everybody has their say.
Yeah.
And obviously, we have heard from Scrappy, from Erica, Diamond.
And then Scrappy again, and then Erica again.
Yeah. And I wanted to make sure that before I close this, I feel like it's a novel.
It is absolutely a saga. I'm like, when will it end?
So you are the season finale.
Okay, let's get it. So first things first, I told Carlos, I said, I don't really come sit on people's couches unless I'm promoting something. And, we have this book, Unbothered. And that's what I'm standing on right now, Unbothered. The book. It's on Amazon. It's on houseofshimmer.com. So now let's get into it.
So talk to me about the book. What is the book about?
So the book is about developing emotional intelligence. And a lot of times when people hear the term unbothered, they're like, okay, so if you're unbothered, why will you respond to anything? Why will you comment on anything? And I don't think unbothered means that you're not human, because you see things, and obviously we're all prone to like give an opinion on something, especially if it has something to do with us. But being unbothered to me means being able to process things and then respond in a way that's not impulsive. And that's what I've been standing on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing about you, because I do want to, take a trip down memory lane because I listen, I feel like a lot of people just don't know you.
Yeah.
And I am people, and I'm so curious just about you as a beautiful girl. Where did you grow up? Talk to me about like your childhood.
Yeah, I grew up in Compton. I didn't really have a lot of inspiration, to be honest. Like, I had an older cousin. He was a basketball player. He went to college. Like, he was projected to go to the NBA and all this stuff. And he was like my idol. You know what I'm saying? So some things happened, some very like drastic, dramatic things happened, and he didn't go to the NBA. He also didn't graduate from college. So I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm going to be the first person in my family that graduates from college, and I'm just going to do this thing. So I didn't have any particular goals in mind. I went to college, and then I had to pick up a minor, right? So this is where my life changed. So I had to get a minor really quick. I was majoring in mass communication. So we were doing like public relations, communications law, like all this different type of stuff. And they were like, you need to get a minor. And I'm like, well, what's the easiest thing? Like, what's the quickest way for me to get up out of here? And it was like theater, right? So I picked up theater as a minor. Mm-hmm. One of my professors happened to be an actor. He was on the show Ugly Betty at the time.
Which one?
Tony Plana. He was like Betty's dad,
yeah,
right?
Uh-huh.
So this was like my last year, like in college, right? And he's like, hey, like you need to start doing some background work. Because I was like so shy. I didn't want to say anything. But when it came to like the theater minor, you did like stage management. It was like all types of other things to do outside of like acting. So the acting classes were my last two classes. And I was like sweating. I didn't want to get on stage in front of people. Like it was crazy. And once he kind of like broke me in, he was like, you need to start doing some background work, whatever. So I did background work all through like college. When I started working after I graduated from college, I started going out on auditions. So I'm in like thousands of like independent films and music videos, all kind of stuff. Whatever my agency would send me out on, I'm going out, I'm booking jobs, I'm just working. You know, LA is like a real hustle, grind city. You know what I'm saying? Everybody is doing multiple hustles. So that's where I come from.
And what about your parents?
So my mom, she was a teacher. Mm-hmm. And back in the day, like she taught preschool. And my mom was a hustler, too. Like, she did a lot of different things. She was a teacher. She was a bartender. Like, my mom knows how to do everything. My dad was a musician. He was in a band. And my parents were married until my father passed away. Mm-hmm. I was in high school. So, yeah, that's where I come from. Like, my parents, they had been married up until, you know, my dad passed away. And, yeah, me and my mom was just thugging it out. My brother locked up. He was in prison for about 20 years. And, yeah. Yeah.
Is that why you and Malaysia are so close? Because you have a lot in common. I'm just realizing that.
So much in common. It was crazy. Like, Malaysia and I, we had always lived like a block apart from each other in Compton. Like, when we were growing up, we went to rival high schools. I went to Dominguez. She went to what do you call it? I'm sorry, Linwood High School. Mm-hmm. She went to Linwood. I went to Dominguez. And so everything we did was kind of like opposite. She was like a super girly girl. I was a tomboy. I'm like riding my bikes through the neighborhood. She's outside playing with her little dolls, doing double dutch. I'm like, yeah, bitch, whatever. So, but then we started getting closer. We didn't even know each other's names. We just started hanging out, and then we end up going to the same college together, and it was crazy. Like we did a lot together.
So here you are, being in the industry. Yeah. You're modeling. You're doing some background work. How did reality TV get into your life? So I moved to Atlanta. I came to Atlanta to go to college. I went to Morris Brown, and the year that I got to Morris Brown, it like lost its accreditation. So I went back to LA. But once I came to Atlanta, I was like, Atlanta was so dope. It was really a vibe. But I went back to LA. I finished my degree. I was engaged. So you do have a college degree.
I do have a degree that was ripped up on camera for everybody to see. But yeah, that's real. So, but yeah, I was engaged to somebody at the time in LA, and we were like going through a breakup. So Atlanta was kind of like the only escape I had because it was familiar a little bit because I had went to school there. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to Atlanta and I'm gonna see what's going on. So I went back to Atlanta, and I was still doing like the modeling, the acting, and then I started like doing the music, and I got really, that was really what I wanted to do. Like growing up in a house, like my dad was a musician. I really wanted to do it, but I was so afraid. But when I got to Atlanta, I was like, you know what? Let me just really tap into this. And I started doing that like a lot. And so Malaysia was doing Basketball Wives, and they had started casting for other people on the show. So they were really fascinated by the fact that I was like in Atlanta, like doing my stuff. Like I had songs on the radio, like I'm doing all different shows around the city and all this kind of stuff. So they were like, they cast me on the show based off of that. So I went to LA and did Basketball Wives. And they really featured me as an artist on that show more than I had ever been featured on Love and Hip Hop, which is crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Interesting.
Absolutely interesting. Yeah.
So yes. I remember you on Basketball Wives, and obviously back then, maybe some now, but back then, Basketball Wives was a tough show to be a part of.
Oh yeah, it was.
You had to really earn your stripes, your fist, you know, your nails. It was a lot of fighting on that show. Yeah. You got into it with a couple of people on that show.
I did, yeah.
It was...
I think I got into it with Brooke, Laura. Was it Laura and Gloria? I know it was Gloria, but I don't remember if me and Laura got into it. But yeah, it was lit on there. Yeah.
Did you like it?
I loved it.
Why didn't you stay?
Well, it was just like a natural transition for me because in my mind, I was like, I started dating like Scrap, and I'm like, okay, this is Love and Hip Hop. Like I'm doing music, so why not just segue into, you know, a lane that's meant for me? But it took me down a crazy ass route.
Yeah. And so much so that I really wanted you to use this opportunity to clear the air.
Sure.
Because there's so many things out there about you, Bambi, that
I know
people say. And one thing about me as a journalist, hey, Portia, is the fact that I like to make sure I get the source.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to go back to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in the infamous Benzio Kirk scene.
Yeah, we should start before that.
Oh, well, go ahead, baby.
We should start before that because I think...
Because a lot of people have questions to this day about
No,
it.
they do because this entire timeline is so confusing to people.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get confused too because I'm like, wait, what year was that and what was happening? So let me just try my best to give you an accurate assessment of the timeline as I remember. Okay? Mm-hmm. So it was probably about 2010 when I met Scrap, right? Probably about 2010.
Yes.
So I met him in a club, Taboo 2 in Atlanta. He tried to holler at me. We exchanged numbers. And so when he left, I had a friend who was working at Taboo. And I was like, what's up with him? And she's like, oh, you know, that's Lil Scrappy. Like, he's with this girl, Diamond. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's weird. Because, you know, he just tried to holler at me and we exchanged numbers and everything. So she was like, yeah.
You were attracted to Scrappy?
When I first met him, it was just like some kind of playful vibe because he had like a bandana around his head, and you know I'm from LA, and I'm like, what's up, nigga, like where you from? And he like, oh, what's up, cuz? And I'm like, where you from? You know what I'm saying? Like it was just like a playful kind of vibe. So anyways, we exchanged numbers, but she had already given me this information like, oh, he's with this girl, whatever. So when he called me, I'm like, hey, like you got a girlfriend? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so what's up? And he like, well, I'm trying to pull up on you. And I'm like, yeah, no, you know, I ain't really on that type of time. So call me when you single, right? So that was that. So And then I end up seeing him out with Diamond a couple times, like maybe like twice. I saw them both out. And then there was like this girl who was cool with Diamond, and she knew I was like doing music too. And she was like, well, maybe y'all can link. I was like, yeah, whatever. So we were like sitting in a car together one day, and we had like one little conversation, and I was like,
You and Scrap in the car?
No. Me and Diamond and this other girl who was like her homegirl. And I was like, she kind of like, she cool, but I don't know. She just not really my vibe. Like, it wasn't really nothing wrong with her, but I was just like, nah, I'm cool. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's just kind of weird. So that was my only like interaction with her. And I was like, you know, whatever. So then one night I'm randomly like in the studio. Scrap calls me. He's like, hey, I broke up with my girlfriend. Like, what you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I'm at the studio. So he comes to the studio where I'm at, and we go outside. We're like talking in the car, and he's just like running it, right? He like running his whole entire.
Scrappy wears his heart on his sleeve.
Yo, but see, this was me being so like, I was so green because I was like, damn, like he must really fuck with me. Like, he's telling me all his business. And so that's how he got me. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, he was just running it. He was like, yeah, like we were together for 5 years, and you know, she left me for Soulja Boy. She tried to take me to I don't know, like out the country or something, give him some money, and like, I don't know. He was just like doing this whole like sob story, and I felt bad for him. I was like, yo, that's cold.
You like, damn, Diamond.
I was like, these ladies is like, yeah. So that was really like our initial like connection, right? Like, he just ran his whole entire situation with her, but I was still confused, you know what I'm saying? Because he had invited me to his house like a couple times, but he said, you know, like they were living together, but she left him. You know what I'm saying? He was like, she left me for another dude, whatever. He's like, I got a studio at my house, so, you know, you want to come through and record? I'm like, yeah, like for sure. So I bring a couple girls over there. Like, we go recording some bullshit at his house, but we just like messing around, having fun or whatever. It wasn't really nothing serious. And we really started like to be cool. Like, whenever I would be out, he'd be like, where you at? He'll come pull up. I'll come pull up on him. And, you know, we were just kind of like vibing. So then he's like, yeah, I'm about to move up out this house. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He's like, yeah, I'm about to move up out of here. I'm about to move in with my baby mama. Until I get my stuff together, and, you know, we're about to start doing Love and Hip Hop. And I was like, wait, what? What is happening? I thought that Diamond was the baby mama, right? Because he said they were together for like 5 years. And so I'm looking at pictures whenever I'm trying to like, it was like limited in internet like business at that point. It was like media takeout stuff, like whatever. So I'm like trying to Google this fool, like trying to see what's going on. But every time I see a picture of him and her, I see Imani, and she's little. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, that's their kid. You know what I'm saying? So then when he say, well, I'm about to move in with my baby mama, I'm like, wait, didn't she leave? And he's like, no, like I'm talking about my daughter's mom. And I'm like, I'm thoroughly like confused.
Were you guys intimate during this time he's telling you this?
I think we had probably like got it cracking like once or twice, but we weren't really like in.
Y'all weren't exclusive.
Nah, it wasn't nothing like that.
Okay.
So I'm like, all right, you know, it is what it is. So then they started filming Love and Hip Hop. And he would call me like during or after like the filmings. I remember one time.
Season 1?
Yes. He called me one time. He was like, hey, I just got in a fight with this nigga named Stevie J. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, my baby mama he has some chick, like her name is Jocelyn. I'm like, who is this? Like, I'm all into the story. I'm like, damn, what happened? So he just like running it, right?
You like me, what happened?
I'm like, what happened? Who won? And he was like, yeah, she was kind of big. Like, I'm like, okay, whatever. But he really ran it on what happened with Erica and Jocelyn. I ain't gonna repeat it, but
what did he say?
Yeah. But I'm not even gonna repeat that. But
did he make it seem like Erica lost?
I don't know. So anyways, so that was the type of
hilarious.
That was the type of relationship we had, right?
So it's funny because I work season 1.
I know.
So he's filming with Erica. Mm-hmm. That's his child's mother, right. And they're trying to figure things out, and they were living together.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, after scenes, he's calling you.
We were like hanging out after scenes. That's how like confused I was about it, because he was telling me, he was like, nah, we just getting a bag, like, you know what I'm saying, whatever, I'm just trying to help her get some money so she can stay out of my pockets, whatever. And I'm like, whatever, like, I'm just like a butterfly, like, I'm new to the city and I'm just like hanging out, doing my thing,
you're
whatever.
a single woman, you guys aren't in an exclusive relationship. And okay, so I get all this,
right? So that was the nature of our relationship at that point, right?
Okay.
So during that time, I think maybe towards the end of the season, me and him started getting like a little closer, right? He started really, really liking me, and I liked him too. Like, I did like him a lot because he was just really fun. Mm-hmm. So he introduced me to like Steph and Mona one time. We were hanging out on Peter Street.
Mm-hmm. That's where the office was.
Yeah. So he's like, I want to do some stuff with her, blah, 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 whatever. So then I started to notice like a pattern with him and Erica, whatever. And I was like, wait, are you like with her for real? And he was like, he kept denying the fact that he was with her. And I was just like, this look like it's like a little bit more than for TV. So at that point, I think I had met like Kirk and Benzio on Peter Street. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like cool with them and talking to them or whatever. And then somehow Benzino, he's like, hey, we're going to do this scene at the cabin, blah, blah, blah. But me and Benzino were cool. Like, I started hanging out with him. I ain't never had sex with him or nothing. And I know he's going to, like, be upset because he hates when people mentions him with me right now. I don't know. Like, I had just saw him, like, on one blog one day. He's like, y'all keep talking about me and, whatever. But anyways, I've never had anything negative to say about him because he was cool. Like, he was a cool guy. Like, me and all my homegirls used to go to his house. Like, he used to cook. Like, we were just chilling.
No, he's a great host.
Like, he was so cool. And that was it. But anyways, we went and did the little scene at the cabin or whatever. And for me... So
at this time, are you and Scrappy...
We were still talking. We were still cool.
But not exclusive?
No, never.
Got it.
Not exclusive.
So at this time, he's in rehab?
No, this was before he went to rehab. He was... The night we went to the cabin, for some reason, he got locked up. He went to jail. The night you went to the cabin? Okay. Yeah. I don't know what he went to jail for, but he went to jail and... We were at the cabin, but I was just like, I don't know if he, in his mind, he thought I was supposed to be like at home waiting for his jail calls, me and everybody else he was like talking to at the time. He was like all of our boyfriend. He was. I see. You know what? This is okay. Let's have a real conversation. Yes. I love it when a woman who is single and a baddie can say like, because what I don't like about society is a single pretty girl cannot just date men. And it doesn't have to be exclusive. So the fact that you're like, look, I knew what it was. Like, we weren't exclusive. Right. If I want to be intimate with somebody, I can. I'm a grown-ass woman. Yeah. And I'm still going to date other people. Absolutely. So what you're saying to me that I appreciate is, look, we're kicking it. But in your eyes, we're not exclusive. We're not boyfriend, girlfriend. Right. And you're saying Scrappy made it seem like it was much more than that at that time. Most men do. Like, let's be honest. Men are far more delusional than women. We have to agree on that. Like, we know that that's a fact. But the fact of the matter is, yeah, like, he was the only person that I was actually, like, intimate with at the time. But we weren't exclusive in terms of like me being able to go out with other people because, you know, I didn't know really what he was doing. I really didn't care, but, you know, I didn't care to be like going around having sex with other people. Like, you know, that wasn't really my thing. You know, I'm just having fun.
Having fun.
So anyway, so
you're at the cabin.
We're at the cabin, and the cabin. So Benzino did tell me, he's like, hey, you can bring some homegirls or whatever. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I brought one girl that actually went in the hot tub. Some of my other homegirls were inside the house. We were like, I don't know what it was. It was like playing cards or some kind of games or whatever. But when it went to the hot tub, it was one of the girls that I brought with me. She was not my friend. She was just like a girl that I knew would kind of be lit. And she was trying to get on TV. And I was like, they looking for some girls to come do this. Like, come, you know, whatever. And my thing at that time, I'm not going to lie. Like, if somebody else around me was going to go, I'm like, you go, because I'm not.
You go.
Do what you got to do, because I'm just going to be chilling.
Go go to third base?
Or whatever she wanted to do.
Whatever she wanted to do.
Yeah, because I was around a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? I used to hang out with a lot of guys. And I'm like, if y'all going to do it, that's cool. But I'm just here, you know, for the vibes.
So when you went to the cabin, you obviously was like, it's being filmed.
Yeah.
And I'm here for the vibes.
Absolutely. And, you know, I had been on TV already.
Right.
So it wasn't really a big thing for me. It was just like, I already know what time it is. Like, we're here to film a scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, we gonna make it do what it do. And Benzino and I, we were cool. And we were, I guess, what people would consider dating at the time. Like, we were going out, but we just wasn't having sex, you know?
So you were dating Benzino and Scrappy at the same time.
Yeah. And I think that's what was like intriguing to like the producers at the time. They were like, oh, now we got a girl who's like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was doing. I was like, I'm going to date both of them. Who cares? They don't know each other. They're not friends.
I love your honesty, baby.
Yeah, like, who cares? Like,
I mean,
it's really giving who cares, because they weren't friends. They were not. And I'm like, whatever. I'm not married. You know, I'm chilling. Yeah.
Yeah. No, so, I'm with it.
Yeah. So that's where I was at the time. And then it became a case of may the best man win. They started like getting very competitive with each other.
Because they did?
Absolutely. Benzino's like, oh, you messing with him? Ratchet man? And I was like, yeah.
Benzino called Scrappy Ratchet Man?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, nuck if you buck.
Listen, shit, they out here doing their thing these days.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're in the hot tub and you're making out.
I didn't make out. It was just a little smooch. Come on.
Well,
you saw it.
I did see it.
Did they slow it down?
They slowed it down. It's like in hip hop. They slow everything down. The walk up.
It wasn't a make out.
Yeah. So because everybody obviously was like,
they nailed me to the cross for that these days.
Because they Kirk was married.
And you know what? What people did not see was that after I kind of like realized what was happening, like after the fact, I was like, because I didn't know Kirk. I didn't know Rashida. I didn't really know the details of their relationship. All I knew was this man said he got a pass to be able to do whatever he wanted to do. That was like the reason that he was there, right? He said he got a pass. So I didn't know them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really know the extent of
you didn't watch the show and see.
No. I did not know what the hell was going on. All I knew was that this man said he had a pass or whatever. And but now looking back, I'm like, Rashida is a real chick, because I probably wouldn't be able to stomach, like, bitch, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you brought those types of vibes to my husband when I was pregnant. And that's how I know she a real chick, because even, like, during that time, the girl who was like all over Kirk in the hot tub, she started like doing interviews. She's like doing all this stuff. And I literally put a stop to it. Like she was doing, remember Candy had like the Candy Coated Nights going on? It was live.
Yep.
So she was doing an interview at Candy Coated Nights and I pulled up. I said, hey, like you're not doing no more interviews about this. Like that shit is dead. And so I kind of like wrecked that interview like in person. She was on the radio with Big Tigger. I called Tigger. I said, let me in. So he let me in on the radio. I said, hey, first of all, oh girl, you need to pipe down. Like this shit is dead. You need to end it. I gave a public apology to Rashida on the radio. I said, I apologize about this. Like as a woman, my shit was like, it was just not really the best decision that I had ever made. You know what I'm saying? And I wasn't really.
And listen, you're woman enough to admit a mistake you made as a young girl.
Absolutely. Yeah. I wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about, oh, this lady's pregnant. This is her husband. I wasn't thinking about none of that. But once I processed it, I was like, you know what? This is not right. And I checked old girl. I shut down all her fucking interviews. And then I apologized to Rashida, like publicly on the radio. And then I hit up her and Kirk and met up with them in person. This was like all off camera. This was like some real stuff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I apologized to her and I was like, Kirk is cool. Like I fuck with him, whatever. And
Did you sleep with Kirk?
Huh?
No, because these are things people want to know because the thing is this.
I didn't sleep with nobody.
Well, and that's why I wanted you to clear the air because listen, for the general, no, because Bambi, look, that's why I wanted to make sure.
People think I slept with Kirk?
Because you have to understand.
Okay, I'm listening.
Think about it. You're in the hot tub.
Yeah.
It's sweaty, it's nibbling, it's slow motion, right?
Yeah.
And then the camera's cut off. You see what I'm saying? The cameras are cut off.
But I think Kirk has gone on record a few times to say that I left. Like as soon as that hot tub was a wrap, like I got the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Like some people stayed, like they stayed there or whatever, but I left. There's never been nothing between Kirk and I ever. Kirk has always been 100. Like out of all the men on Love and Hip Hop, he has been the most 100 out of
Kirk
everybody.
I'm going to get rapper saying this because they're going to read me because of what him cheating on his wife and having an outside baby.
Yeah.
But guys, besides that, Kirk is a nice guy.
No, he really is.
Kirk is a really nice guy.
And what I respect about him is that, like he did have a big ass slip up. Whatever they had going on at the time, that was their situation. But this man take care of his family. Like he hold his family down. Like he real. Like he do his thing. You know what I'm saying? And I have nothing but love and respect for Kirk and Rashida.
No, same here.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's their marriage and they can do what they want to do in terms of their decisions. So when Scrappy and I were talking, he said he saw that hot tub scene while he was in rehab/jail. Yeah. And he said that he was devastated because I want to say like around that time you were visiting him.
Yeah. So you know how TV work. I had filmed that hot tub scene. Gotcha. And then me and him started really getting a little bit closer. And so, I guess once he saw it, like, shit. I mean, I was seeing stuff, too, that he wasn't being honest about. Like, he was literally telling me, like, I'm not with her. Like, this is just for TV. Like, this is nothing. Like, I'm just whatever. So he was, like, manipulating the fuck out of me when it came to what's real and what's not. And because I come from like a place of TV, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, I know some of this stuff is, I'm not going to say it's not real, but it's heightened. You know what I'm saying? Like you take it up a notch because it's TV. And so, I was like, okay, well, maybe they're not really together. Maybe he's just like kind of laying it on like really thick for TV. But I was still doing my thing because I wasn't really sure. And when he did go to rehab, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because way before he went to rehab, he and Erica had called off their engagement. I don't know how long they were engaged. I don't know the details on that because I think I was in LA, like doing Basketball Wives around that time. So we weren't talking. And I think I heard that he had proposed to her from a producer on Basketball Wives while I was there filming.
Okay.
I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? But I actually saw it when everybody else saw it. I was like, oh. And then at the time when I saw it on TV, he was like, no, it's over. Like, we're not engaged anymore. Like, it's already done. And I'm just like, well, what happened? And he gave me a whole rundown of what happened. We were at my grandmother's house, like on Christmas Eve or on, I don't know when it was. It was somewhere around Christmas. And, you know, she gave the ring back or whatever. So when they filmed that scene, when they were in the rehab, it was like way after the engagement had ended. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
So when it comes to that whole like situation, obviously it got to the point where you two were serious.
Yeah.
And to the point where you guys got married.
Yeah.
While you were engaged to him, what made you go the next level with Scrappy, knowing that, okay, I'm seeing one thing on TV, you're telling me one thing, you're going through all this stuff. At what point did you fall in love and say, okay, I'm going to be committed to you?
So we had gone through a few years on TV where it was just like us. You know what I'm saying? Like where it was just us trying to figure it out. And we had some things come up in between, but we paused on the TV for a little while. So we paused on the TV after we got engaged. And we still had like some rough patches. Like it was some really, really rough patches. But we were always able to get through it because I didn't really look at him at that time as like a cheater. Like he, as far as I had known, he hadn't stepped out like, you know what I'm saying, on the relationship or whatever. So whatever we were going through, it was easy for me to kind of like get through it because I really did love him. I really did want to be with him. Like it was, you know, one of those things, like I was in love with him at one point, like really. So the things that we were going through, I was just like, we can get past this. You know what I'm saying?
Were you going through like infidelity stuff?
No, there was not to my knowledge. Okay. You know what I'm saying?
That's like not what you guys were arguing about.
That's not what we were arguing about. Like we were just arguing about a lot of petty stuff and just trying to like figure it out, you know? So we broke off the engagement. And at that point, he had went and he filmed during like Love and Hip Hop Miami, right? I don't remember what year it was. So when we broke up, I had like moved and, you know, I moved on and I was like doing my own thing. And he started like this Find the Bam campaign, right? So he was like...
Not you on a milk carton.
Right. So he's like going around to all these cities. He's like... putting his camera up. He's like, hey, have y'all seen the Bam? Have y'all seen the Bam? Like, it was crazy, right? But it was really flattering. At the time, I was actually with somebody else. And he's like, yo, like, what's up with this dude? And I was like, yeah, he just being a clown. Like, whatever. It's all, you know, you don't have anything to worry about. So I was like in a whole relationship at this point, right? Yeah.
Go ahead, baby.
So, and I'm telling
if I come back on this earth as a woman,
so I'm telling this guy, like, I'm like, no, like, I'm never getting back with him because the way that we broke up and he just was kind of like dirty. Like we had this house together and he just left and I had to like figure everything out on my own. I'm trying to like clear out this big ass house and whatever. Like it was just a big fiasco. So I'm like, I'm never getting back with him. So he kept going around doing this. Where's the band? Find the band. He's like applying so much pressure to the point where my mom was like, oh my gosh, he's the one. He loves you. You see what he's doing? And I'm like in a state of confusion. I'm not going to lie because here it is. My mom, like she's telling me like I'm making the wrong choice. And I was like really happy in this new situation that I was in. I was so happy. It was so peaceful.
Was he a celebrity?
Yeah, he was a basketball player. He didn't have no kids and I didn't have to do nothing. Like we were, oh my God, it was so peaceful, right? He was so... everything. But my mom, she was just like, no, like, he loves you. Oh my, so come to find out, like, I'm looking at the messages between him and my mom. He's just like,
He's texting your mother.
What?
Scrappy is texting your mom?
real bad.
Saying what?
Just laying it on thick, like, I love her so much. I don't know what I was doing. I'm sorry. Like, I'm stupid. Like, he was just like laying it on. And my mom is, you know, she like me. You know, she like a little sucker a little bit. All you gotta do is tell us some good shit. And we'd be like, okay. Yeah.
Fellas, take note. Okay.
Right. So he's like doing all this. And then plus the guy that I was with, like, he was so laid back. He was so cool that I was like, well, maybe he's not applying enough pressure. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I was confused. So to make a long story short, one night, you know, I'm like in a club. Scrap comes in the club, and it's like this big thing because everybody's been watching him do this Find the Bam stuff, like all over the internet.
I gotta see this mission of Scrappy with his Scooby-Doo truck and his magnifying glass and his compass.
You know what's crazy? So the night that it actually like went down, Cash Doll had DM'd me. She was like, bitch, Scrap is on his way to where you at. And I was like, huh? She's like, yeah, he's on his way there. So I was like, okay. So he comes in the club. Every person in the club, they got phones, cameras. They're like, he found the Bam. Like, oh my God, he found. So
That's
of course,
romantic.
no, it was absolutely very romantic.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I still have feelings for him. I never want to hurt his feelings. Even now to this day, they trash the fuck out of me. I still can't hurt his feelings. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? So he comes over and, you know, it was just,
y'all made out?
Yeah, we had a little.
And smashed that night?
Yeah.
And you called your boyfriend the next day?
Did not.
What happened?
I ghosted the fuck out of him.
Oh, Babby, not the rich basketball player.
Yeah.
Where he is your piece.
I ghosted that man.
And he's calling you and said, damn, Scrappy found his mission.
He said, really? What the fuck? I did not respond.
Oh, Bam.
Yeah, I feel so bad.
What is he doing now?
Still don't got no kids. Still fine.
Is he still in the NBA?
Still play basketball. Still
for the Clippers or the Lakers?
The Bam.
Is he the Clippers, Lakers, Pistons, Hawks? So when you see him on TV, do you have any regrets?
I seen him in real life.
Oh, man!
Stop playing.
Are y'all back together?
No. He doesn't trust me.
This is the most honest conversation I have ever had with a woman, I think. I really appreciate you are so, this is so fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Do you want him back?
I kind of do, but I get it. You know, I wouldn't even feel safe. I'll be like, he gonna get me back.
Oh, right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
He's ready to go you. Like, yeah, I'm gonna take you back. And I'm gonna put you through some shit. And like, it's okay.
Can't even do it.
Damn. So he's still around.
He's still around.
Listen, you are very beautiful.
Thank you, Carlos.
Bountiful.
Aww.
Bootylicious girl.
So sweet.
You are.
Thank you.
I see now why the men are going crazy over you.
Well.
Damn, baby.
Carlos.
Okay. No, you bad. Okay, so he laid it on thick. Literally and figuratively. And then
literally like a month later we got married.
Bambi.
Yeah.
Head over heels in love.
Yeah. And you know what? At that point, it was not head over heels in love for me. It was me settling. And I'm not gonna lie. Like, I loved him so much, but I was like, this man just came out here and he just like put it all out in front of everybody, and maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, I wasn't really comfortable in the place that was uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? It was like a new situation.
I get it.
And I'm like, this man is, it was probably like a little insecure on my behalf as well, because I'm like, he didn't need me to do anything for him. Nothing. And so I kind of felt a little out of place because I had been in a space for so long where I'm like, hey, you need me to do this? You need me to do that? That's me being codependent. I found that out like while I was in the relationship. I started exploring myself so much. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? Oh, I'm codependent. I really needed somebody to need me. And so when I was in a space with this other person and he didn't need anything from me, like life was lifing, you know what I'm saying? And I felt so insecure because I didn't know where to help him at.
And I'm gonna help you too. You also probably did not think you deserved it.
I didn't.
Which is sad.
Yeah, it's
you
so
have
sad.
You have this, because a lot of women go through this but don't talk about it. And it's why they say nice guys finish last.
Yeah.
Here you are, you were this rich basketball player who is very peaceful. He's not arguing with you.
He didn't have no kids, no baby mama.
No kids, no baby mama, and you're at peace, and it's a peaceful environment. And sometimes when it comes to women who are used to chaos, no, real talk, who's used to chaos, when they meet peace, they sometimes question like, wait, am I... They don't know this, but it's like, am I deserving of this man? Something's off about this because I'm so used to this chaos. And then you have your ex who is telling the world, to the point Cash Doll is DMing you saying, Scrappy found you, bitch. And in your mind, you're like, I am confused because is that what I need? Because it's familiar.
Absolutely. It was so confusing to me.
I get it now.
And I'm talking about, I was just, I'm like, what do I do? You know what I'm saying? Because, like I can always look at Scrap and be like, okay. Not okay in terms of like we getting back together, but right now, okay in terms of like, I don't want to see him ever like in a state of just
turmoil.
I don't want to see that for him ever. Yeah,
that's good.
So
that's good. So you're married, you have kids, and obviously every relationship goes through its ups and downs. Last season, maybe it's the first half of last season, okay, because I get confused by that break too. But what was so interesting is I am such a fan of the show again. Yeah. Because I stopped watching it because I felt like it went through this weird phase. And
I heard you tell Diamond she was a breakout star. I said, boy, that's so cap.
Of what?
Love and Hip Hop.
This season?
One of them. When did she break out of anything? She should have broke out that fucking wig she was wearing. Okay, let's continue.
Are you sure?
I'm talking about you're a breakout star.
I did.
Like what?
I don't think I said it. It doesn't make sense because she didn't do season 1. Shut up! I did not. First of all, don't mock me. I don't remember saying that.
You did.
If I said it, whatever.
Please take it back. Okay, all right, let's go. I'm sorry.
Now break out the wig.
Yeah. That thing. You already... Okay, it's okay. All right, let's go.
We'll get to that in a second. Because... okay. Speaking of Diamond, she did say she saw you at her house when she was living with Scrappy, but now we know that it's because you weren't just over there just...
Yeah, no, and he told me that they were broken up and she had moved on with Soulja Boy to L.A., and I was like, shit, I'll come over to the studio, like, whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't gag much when the tables are turned, so that was very funny, Babby. Okay, so with Diamond being the breakout star, I'm teasing. So here you are, you're married. And obviously, every marriage has its ups and downs.
Yeah.
We were all perplexed, because, you see things online.
Yeah.
But then we saw that you're packing things up and you are accusing Scrappy of not paying his share of the mortgage. Scrappy came on my show and said that he would give you the money. Sometimes it was like 2, 3, 4 days late, but he would give it to you because he obviously, had to, do appearances here and there to get it.
For sure. Well, here's the thing. Like, we would both, like, pay our portion of, what was due separately. Like, he would pay his, I would pay mine.
Yeah.
And since my name was, like, on everything, I would have the stress of having to deal with the people when things were late. We got one portion of it, but we didn't get the other portion. And I would have to tell him, like, hey, like, you're late again. Hey, you're late again. You're late, whatever. So then it got to the point where they were like, you guys are constantly late, and I'm going to ask that we just terminate this contract because you're up for renewal, but we don't want to renew. And so at that point, I could have been like, you know what? Like, we're going through a divorce right now. He's going to move out. I'm going to go ahead and pay for this thing. But at that point, he would have still had access to our home legally. You know what I'm saying? He would have been able to come, go, do whatever he wanted to do. And I was devastated because, my kids were all born and they grew up in that house. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to stay there. And I was even talking to, like, the owners about potentially, like, buying the place from them. And they were, like, willing to sell because they were like, oh, you guys are a nice family, whatever. And that was my plan. But anyways, I was like, you know what? Let me just start over fresh. It was so hard for me to make that decision. Again, I could have fought. I could have said, hey, like, we're going through a divorce. He's going to move out. I'm going to be responsible for the full payment right now. So we won't even be late again. You know what I'm saying? I could have done that. But instead of me doing that, I was like, you know what? I bit the bullet. I was like, we're just going to have to move because they want us out of here. They want us fucking out because you're late. And so let's get out. But yeah, I mean, I never accused him of not just outright not, doing what he was supposed to do. But he's been delinquent quite often. And so that was a problem.
He admitted that he read your diary.
Yeah.
Was that devastating for, like, what was
No, it wasn't devastating. It was actually it might have been a little therapeutic because I wrote down my thoughts, and a lot of times when we would have conversation, I can't have a conversation with him. Like, you sat here on this couch with him. Sometimes you can't even talk. You can't. You cannot.
You are actually very funny. Okay.
Well, just being honest.
He can be long-winded at times.
Absolutely. So imagine that at 3 p.m. when he comes in from the club and he eating his wings on the edge of the bed and he just, you know what I'm saying? And I don't like how you don't be rubbing nigga feet. And I'm just like, nigga, I got 3 babies right here. I'm trying to get some rest. And you coming in at 3, 4, 5 in the morning with your wings talking about you want your foot rubbed? Sir, what are we doing? You know what I'm saying? So he was very exhausting at times. Absolutely exhausting.
What did you say in your diary that you felt like he took and was like, it appeared it devastated him?
Yeah.
Were you?
I don't actually know what he read that sent him over the top, but whatever he read were my exact feelings. Like, I just didn't feel heard. I didn't feel understood. Like, I had 3 babies back to back. Like, my kids are 5, 3, and 2 right now. I was pregnant our whole entire marriage. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And so I just didn't feel like I got the support that I needed. Like, I'm not going to say that he didn't do anything, because he did. Like, he would get up some mornings and he would have all the kids with him downstairs. He would make breakfast sometimes. But when it really came to me tapping into myself and what I needed for myself at the time, sometimes I didn't even know. And I don't feel like he paid enough attention to what was going on with me. It was just like, okay, we got to do this for the kids, and I need this. You know what I'm saying? I did not take any days off of work. I had my babies, each one of them. 2 days later, I'm back working.
2 days after giving birth?
Yeah. Each baby, I stayed in the hospital 1 day. 1 day after I gave birth, stayed in a full day. The next day, I wanted to go home. So that next day I went home, I probably chilled for a little bit. The following day, I'm back working. Non-stop.
Why?
No break. I had to. I mean, if you're paying half of everything, my mind did not let up at all. Like, mentally, I couldn't let up.
Were you going through postpartum depression, you think?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
I was.
Did you know you were at the time? Mm-mm. You didn't know how to identify it.
I didn't want to identify it either.
Because you had to be in work mode.
I had to go.
Who would watch the babies?
I have my mom there. I have a nanny. And a lot of people, and I'm glad you asked that, a lot of people assume that when you have help, it relieves you of your duties as a mom. Like, I breastfed all 3 of my kids, for one. I had one on the breast, one in the belly. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, I know.
It was nonstop for me. And I think as Black women, we should really start to embrace and receive, like, the village that's necessary. Because without the people that I had around me, I probably would have perished. Like, for real. My mom didn't stay at my house 24 hours. The nanny didn't stay 24 hours. They were there a couple hours throughout the day. But I think that my mom and the nanny, they were like more so like support for me, like moral support for me. I needed to be around people. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I needed to be around people who were like really understanding of what I was going through at the time. Mm-hmm. Like, my mom will make me some tea, or, you know, the nanny will make me some tea, make me some soup, like, you know, some stuff like that. So it wasn't that they were just like, oh, I got the kids over here and you go lay down. Like, that was never the case.
And then your body, from what I've heard from mothers, especially mothers who have newborns, and I think Beyonce even mentioned this on her documentary, that here she is rehearsing for her tour, mm-hmm. but her body and her mind wants to be at home with the kids, because your body, like I said, you're breastfeeding.
Yep.
So mentally, you are at another place, although physically you're at work.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I'm never like a victim. Like, I never do like the victim mentality, mm-hmm. like anything like that. But I was really like all over the place. And now when I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I was struggling like really bad. Because even now to this day, like with my kids, even if I have the nanny over, they're still all up under me. Like, I'm getting them dressed. I'm putting them in the bathtub. I'm cooking food for them. Sometimes I may say, hey, Ruth, can you make some this or whatever. They don't want that shit. They want what I'm making. Mm-hmm. They want to be up under me. And the purpose of me having the nanny is like 3 kids. I have to put 3 kids in car seats when we get ready to get in the car. If I have to take 1 kid to the ER at any given moment, you better fucking believe I'm going to have a nanny on staff. Because
are you getting some backlash for having a nanny?
Oh, absolutely. People like, she don't take care of her kids. She have nannies. She have her mom. Like, you know, all this stuff. And I always knew, like, when I had kids, I was going to be in a position to be able to have a nanny. And I'm so fortunate to be able to have a mom that I have. You know, I can call my mom at any given time and be like, hey, mom, I need to go work and I need to do this. Can you come over? And she'll come do it for me. Clean, sober, and her right mind and able to look after my children. So I love it.
Clean, sober, and in her right
and
mind.
That is shade as fuck. And that's real as fuck.
Mama D mentioned that she believes you have the kids because you wanted to trap, scrap, and have income.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, I hate when people throw him into the mix because he always has to catch a stray because of something someone else says. So right now, if I would be like, what money? That's shade towards him. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
And I'm like, why do y'all always have to throw him in the mix? Y'all know what time it is when it come to me. Y'all know I get to it.
Do you get child support?
I do.
Monthly?
Yeah, absolutely.
Are you satisfied with the amount?
Even if I'm not, it don't matter because I already know what time it is. My kids are going to have what they need, like, regardless. So I don't really look forward to it. I'm not pressed about it. I know his history when it comes to it. So it's really not something that I look forward to. If it come through, it come through. If it don't, then, you know, hey, maybe he got some shit going on this time. He can't do it. But I can.
What happened between you and Mama D to where it's getting so bad?
I divorced her son.
She feels like you used him.
For?
She's saying to get on reality television, to get on Love and Hip Hop. She feels strongly that you used her son to get on Love and Hip Hop, to be famous.
Well,
to be relevant.
we know that I was on another show that was just as popular. Mm-hmm. So for me, I feel it's a lot of delusion. You know what I'm saying? Because with or without him, I would have been on Love and Hip Hop. It just made sense. You know, we were dating. I got on there. If we weren't together, like, how easy it would have been for me to create a situation with somebody else. I'm the situation. I am.
Okay.
I am. At this point, we see it. You know, that dried up ass storyline is dry.
The Erica Diamond Scrappy.
That shit is dry.
Love triangle.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's real?
I'm sure. You know, there are elements to it that's real. Sure.
When you saw Scrappy say that Erica Dixon is the love of his life and the woman that he always wanted to marry, did that hurt your feelings?
No.
Did you know that?
I did not.
Were you surprised to hear that?
Oh, I'm not surprised to hear anything that comes out of Scrap's mouth at all. If you ask him today, he may have a different answer.
What would the answer be?
You gotta ask him.
Do you think Scrappy is still in love with you?
He is. Yeah.
Has he said that to you recently?
No, he says that he loves me and he misses me.
Recently?
Yeah.
Like a week ago?
Yesterday.
Yeah. Yesterday?
Yeah.
Via text, over the phone, DM?
Via in my house.
Face to face as he's in your house?
Yeah. He said he made a post on Instagram, but then he deleted it.
What was the post?
It said, I love you and I miss you.
To you?
I guess so, but I didn't see it.
When was the last time you and Scrappy were intimate?
When we were married.
Oh, so you don't... You
I ain't
didn't
spinning them blocks.
No.
I don't spin those types of blocks. We were married. We had kids. What else can I give you, sir?
Are you still in love with him?
No.
No.
Mm-mm. I love him, though. I do.
Mm-hmm. Mama D now, as we know, she's funny. She's, all those things, but... There's tons of things coming at your direction. Mm-hmm. She says you're lying about your age. Mm-hmm. She has the receipts to prove it.
So she, yeah.
Okay. Would you like to say how old you are?
I will never. No, because as a woman, to be honest, if I said I'm 17, oh, you're too young to do this. Oh, you're 52. Oh, you too fucking old. Like, just figure it out on your own. But I will tell you one thing, like, if you really pay attention to what's been going on, like, you'll see who's capping. So, yeah.
I love you, Bambi. Mm-hmm. Why did you lunge at that boy's mama?
Well, when I earned that degree, some of those nights, I was actually like sleeping in my car. Like, that was like a really big thing for me. And even though I do have another copy, it was just like, I was so triggered at that moment. I was like, who would rip up a degree? Like, who would do something like that? And again, like, I piped myself down and caught myself, and I was just like, you are a ignorant ass old lady. Like, so ignorant. Yeah.
Where do you go from here? Because obviously she's the grandmother of your 3 beautiful kids.
Yeah.
And how are you two able to come to a resolution? Do you even see that in the future for the two of you?
I don't see it, but...
You don't see it?
Mm-mm. No, I don't see it at all. But the great thing is that I'm very secure. So I have never even attempted to kind of like get in the middle of her relationship with my kids or tell him like, hey, don't take my kids over there or anything like that. Like, Scrap gets his kids regularly, and if he wants to take them to see his mom, fine. When they get old enough to make their own decisions, they'll do that. But at this point, it's okay. Like, I pray over my children daily. Mm-hmm. They're fine. They're covered. They're good. And, we all got some crazy family members. We all have them. So I'm okay. Like, I'm okay knowing that he's very protective of his children, which, again, brings me to, me being in his daughter's life when it was just her. Like, he go crazy about his kids. Mm-hmm. So I'm not worried about it.
Mm. Where are things now with you and Diamond?
There are. It's nowhere.
Do you see a friendship there?
Why would there ever be a friendship? There was never a friendship.
Is the only issue y'all have is just this overlap that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago?
I wouldn't even say that there's an issue, because even throughout the whole divorce process, you never saw me like clapping at them for nothing. They were all coming at me. All of them were coming at me the whole entire time. I never was going at them. Like, Erica wanted to have a sit down with me, and she wanted to go crazy, talking about I was mistreating her kids, some made up shit. I never went at them. They all have smoke. Well, I guess imaginary smoke with me. And they're not my type of girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, Diamond is not my type of girl. Like, Erica is not my type of girl.
Why not?
They're just not. Like, I mean, we just are not cut from the same cloth. First of all, when it comes to Erica, like, I will never, ever, ever, ever. I couldn't fathom letting a man play in my face for 20 years. So we could never be, like, friends because we don't have anything in common. You know what I'm saying? And then when it comes to Diamond, like, I don't know. She's just, she got a lot to work on.
Like what?
We can go all day.
Is it that long of a list?
So long.
Is it internally, externally?
It is long. I'm just saying.
Do you think you get the smoke because at the end of the day...
I get the smoke because, okay, for one, people, they just don't get me. And I don't expect I'm not a person that everybody's gonna get. And the people, they don't like how I look. that's okay. Like, I'm funny and I'm smart. So if you don't like how I look, that's okay. Like,
you're beautiful. What you mean though?
Well, the girls, they always find something to nitpick when it comes to me. That's okay. Like, I didn't make it this far off of looks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get married and have all of my children in wedlock based on looks. You know what I'm saying? It's more than what meets the eyes, is what I'm saying. So,
a lot of women have defended you and said, at the end of the day, she was a wife.
Yeah, I love those ladies. Because a lot of people, they try to normalize the fact that, okay, here's the thing. They're like, okay, you can be a wife and you can still get the scraps, right? That's what I got. It's a wife and I got scraps.
You got Scrappy.
Yeah. Okay. But at the end of the day, like, you really do have to do your part as a woman to set a standard, right? So it's like you go into a contract with a man and now he's responsible and you're holding him accountable. And whether or not he lives up to take accountability to whatever he signed up for, that doesn't fall on me. That's on him. He signed up to have a family, to take care of his wife and his family. And because he failed, that doesn't make me a failure. Like, I did my part. I went into this agreement. I said, okay, we're going to do this. I'm going to have your children. You're going to be a husband. I'm going to be a wife. And we're going to do it. So he failed on his end. And that don't make me a failure. I'm going to get married again. So.
Are you seeing somebody now that you want to marry?
I'm a Pisces. I want to marry everybody. It'd be 2 days and I'd be like, so what we doing?
Are you happy right now?
I'm so happy. I am. Yeah.
I could tell. Tell. Is there anything you want to clear up or you feel like, because, the thing about you is that you don't do a lot of interviews.
Yeah, I don't.
And I know the last one you did was with Amanda Seals.
Yeah.
Where Scrappy revealed they smashed. And she said she told you.
She told me.
Yeah, which I thought was very honorable of her as well.
I love her.
Yeah, no, I love her too. Mm-hmm. Is there anything... Because the thing about it is this. I do feel like you're very misunderstood because... Yeah. You don't say a lot. I
know. I feel like I can do 1,000 interviews and people are going to like nitpick and they're going to try to pick it apart and be like, they're going to try to find flaws and inconsistencies. And all I can do is what I can do. And I really am not in the business of trying to clear things up. I'm okay with being misunderstood. Like, I love it, actually. Like, it's not really a bad thing. Like, make me the villain. It's okay. But I love the people that love me so much. I've had some supporters since like day one. And they see me. They see the grind, the hustle. They see everything that I stand for, and those are the people that I focus on. I can't focus on and I don't want to call them haters because it's some people out there who genuinely just don't like my ass. They don't like my wigs. They don't like these boots. They don't like my fucking teeth. It's okay.
Your gums look good, by the way. I don't get. Why do people think you have big gums?
Well, I did.
I don't think your gums are big.
I did. So I got them contoured.
You could contour your gums?
Yeah.
You went to Dr. Heavenly?
No. Oh. I forget this doctor. But yeah, it was about 10 years ago. So you get like the little contour. That? I don't know. Maybe. They know everything. Well, they think they know everything.
Well, I want to ask you that because there were comments about... Yes. But listen... All I can say is this. This is the second time I get to meet you in person. Yeah. The first time was at the Bold and Bougie premiere, you supporting your friend Malaysia. Mm-hmm. And then I remember seeing you at the bar and I'm like, bitch, come here. You're like, Carlos. I'm like, come here.
Yes.
You were beautiful then. Yeah. You have blonde hair now. You're beautiful now.
Thank you.
I really, and the thing about it is this. In my opinion, not because it's me, I think this may be your best interview because... You're very well spoken in telling your truth.
Yeah.
And you come across so likable because from what I'm seeing, you don't make excuses. You own up to things. You're kind of like, this is what it was. I don't care. Judge me if you want to. You're going to do it anyway. And I think a lot of people will watch this and have a greater understanding of you. Because I really feel like I know you now.
Well, good. I mean, I hope so. That's always the hope, that people can like tap in and get to understand you a little bit more. But I don't know, man. Like, you know, I got some people out there that is just
we all do.
diabolical.
We all do. It's part of the gig when you're in front of the camera, but no, you're very likable, and I'm loving you on the show.
Thank you.
And I want to make sure that you listen. My advice for you is this: you have to know that your voice has power, and that when you are being confronted with things, you have to know when to use it.
Absolutely.
So that's my only advice for you.
I appreciate that so much, because sometimes I just don't, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to address that shit. So,
No.
yeah, I appreciate that, though.
Of course.
I do. And I appreciate you. And I'm happy I came here.
Yes. And listen, I can't wait to come back with your basketball player fiance.
Yeah.
I'm putting out the universe. Because I want to make sure you're good.
No, the one I like for real don't play basketball. So
What does he play?
hopefully he ain't playing nothing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, Bambi.
I love him. I'm going to call him right now.
You love him?
Yes.
Are you in love?
I think so. Can you tell me the difference between being in love and just...
Okay, let me tell you.
Okay.
When you love somebody, you really want the best for them.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless if they do anything to you. You're like,
Okay.
I want the best for you. When you're in love with somebody, you have this passion inside to where you have these series of emotions that's flowing through your veins when you see them, whether, and it's not all like, you know, butterflies and roses. Mm-hmm. It's sort of like when they make you mad, it's because you're in love with them. Mm-hmm. But you know you're in love when you can't stop thinking about them. And you know you're in love when you see their name appear on the phone and it brings a smile to your face.
Oh my God.
It's sort of like...
Let me see, did he call me while we was right here?
Did he?
You fucking bitch.
Ah! He knows you're busy. Well, on that note... No, but thank you, Babby.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we did this
Me
finally.
too.
It was worth the wait, baby. It was worth the wait.
You smell